in the end zone. So we'll go right back down to Kenny Wilkerson. Kenny?
All right, guys, I'm walking off the field with Joe Horn. And, you know, Joe, Charlie Clemens just said these are the kind of wars that these two teams are going to put up.
Yeah, no doubt. I got to say, man, the team, I told them at the halftime, together we stand, divided we fall. I dropped the pass that should have ended the game with 2 minutes left. But you know what? They came and embraced me and told me, we're going to get another chance, and we did. It don't matter about the drop pass. It don't matter about the defense letting them come back. We kick their butt. And that's all that matters. We're coming home back to the Big Easy, and everybody that doubted us, now go buy your tickets because we real.
Thank you, Joe. There's not much more that he could say at that point. So, Jim, I'll send it back up to you. We'll be talking to you from the locker room shortly.
Don't know that there's a whole lot we could add to that. I tell you, I'm out of adjectives and superlatives because that was a great game. And I said in overtime, somebody's going to think they didn't deserve to lose this one. Fortunately for the Saints, it's Tampa Bay in that posture right now.
And games like this, Jim, can just bring a team so much closer together because they will get in the locker room. That's one of the first things, I promise you, that Jim House is going to say is we stayed together. We fought together as a team, offensively and defensively. I tell you something else. The thing I like about Joe Horn's comments is that he shouldered a lot of the blame on himself. I mean, one of the first things he said, hey, I should have caught the ball that ended this game. But we hung together and we stuck together. And when you're using that word, we, that means you're united as a team. And they are right now early in the season.
The special teams come up big, hitting the Buccaneers deep. The defense holds, and then Fred McAfee makes a play for the ages. Pouring in to get all over Tom Tupa, who throws a Garo Yepremian-type effort out into the flat, a desperation pass that ended up in the hands of James Allen. It wasn't a safety. It was a touchdown. It was going to end in either fashion. The New Orleans Saints, with 2:50 left in overtime, defeat the Tampa Bay Buccaneers by a score of 26-20. Let's pause 10 seconds for station identification on the New Orleans Saints radio network.
From the heart of the Crescent City, this is WWL New Orleans, an Entercom communication station, AM 870, the news, talk, and sports leader.
Well, that's the end of one of the most thrilling games it's ever been my pleasure to broadcast. With the score, New Orleans 26 and Tampa Bay 20, with 2:50 remaining in overtime. We'll be back in 60 seconds with a wrap-up of today's contest on the New Orleans Saints radio network.
It's been an impressive year for the black and gold. These guys have stayed hungry all season. And you know what happens when you have a hungry football team? The post-game meal can get real ugly. That's why the black and gold keeps Subway sandwiches on hand. Stop by Subway this month and try one of our new Subway Selects. 4 great players on the Subway roster. There's sweet onion teriyaki, red wine vinaigrette club, honey mustard ham, and Southwest turkey with bacon. It's good when a football team is hungry. It's not good when you are. Subway, eat fresh.
What makes the all-new 2003 Lincoln Navigator such an overwhelming favorite? Lots of reasons. Its available power deployable running boards give you a step up on the competition. Its available power fold flat third row seat lets you bring your own home team to the game. And its available power liftgate puts tailgating in a whole different league. And Navigator is now available with some powerfully compelling introductory financing rates too. So test drive the new 2003 Lincoln Navigator at your Lincoln dealer today.
Catch Rush Limbaugh from 11 to 2, David Tyree 2 to 5, weekdays on WWL 870 AM.
Welcome back once again. Larry Matson with you here in the press box. At the end of one quarter, Saints led 6-0 over the Bucs. Your quarter-by-quarter scores at the half, it was 13-3, Saints by 10. At the end of 3 quarters, the Saints still led by 10, 20-10. And at the end of regulation, it was tied up 20-20, but it went overtime. And with 2 minutes and 50 seconds remaining in the overtime, the Saints score a very unlikely touchdown on a punt that was almost blocked, and then a forced pass intercepted by Allen. Touchdown, 26-20, the final here in Tampa Bay. Stay tuned for the Dodge Ram Locker Room Show coming up next, right here on the New Orleans Saints Radio Network.
Play-by-play is over, but the game's just starting. Let's go behind the scenes on the New Orleans Saints Radio Network. Brought to you by Lottery Scratch-Off, anything but ordinary. Hibernia National Bank, official bank of the New Orleans Saints. Dodge, grab life by the horns. Napa Auto Parts, best service, best price. Jenny King, want him clean? Call Jenny King. And by your local Chrysler Jeep dealers. Saints football is also brought to you by these local sponsors. Today's Saints game was also also brought to you by these local sponsors. Oakland Hart Jewelers, winner of the best jewelry design in the nation. Budweiser and Bud Light, official beers of the New Orleans Saints. Domino's Pizza, get $6 off on Mondays. Abita Springs Water, the official water of the New Orleans Saints. Allstate Insurance, put your life in our hands. And by River Parish Disposal. Our business stinks, but it's picking up. Stick around for Coach Jim Haslett and the Point After with Buddy D on the New Orleans Saints Radio Network.
This is Hannah. She was a good girl today.
I fed my fish.
So her mom gave her an Eskimo pie, the original ice cream bar.
I cleaned my room. I ate my spinach.
Hannah's glad Eskimo pie still covers their creamy vanilla ice cream with the same world-famous chocolate coating they've used for 80 years.
I'll give you a hug if you give me another Eskimo pie. I can't tell I love my Eskimo pie.
How many checks did your small business write last year? And how many rewards points did you get for all that spending? Oh, well, when you pay with your American Express card from Open, the small business network, you can get membership rewards points for virtually every dollar you spend on an eligible enrolled card, which makes paying by check pointless. If you have a card, don't forget to use it. To apply for one or to enroll in the Membership Rewards Program, call 1-800-NOW-OPEN. For Membership Rewards Program, terms, conditions, restrictions apply.
From the New Orleans Saints Radio Network, this is the Dodge Ram Locker Room Show. Stick with us for Kenny Wilkerson's one-on-one with Jim Haslett, player interviews, and game highlights. Brought to you by Dodge, grab life by the horns. Cintas, the uniform people. Louisiana Reds, your Caterpillar dealer. Tomba Communications, your complete Cisco and IT provider. And by America Online. The Saints Locker Room Show is also brought to you by these local sponsors. The Dodge Ram Locker Room Show on WWL 870 AM is brought to you by Ochsner. Abita Springs Water. Better, better service, better call. Subway. Eat fresh. Janny King. Want it clean? Call Janny King. And by Tulane Football. 861-WAVE. Stick around for your chance to step up and take the mic with Buddy D. Box. Here's Larry Matson on the New Orleans Saints Radio Network.
And welcome to the Dodge Ram Locker Room Show up here in the press box. Larry Matson along with Hokie Gajan, and we'll be going down to the locker room shortly with Jim Haslett. Of course, Kenny Wilkerson will be interviewing him and other players. What an exciting finish. I've seen a lot of finishes and a lot of football in my lifetime, as you have, Hokie, but I don't think I've seen one quite like that one.
I tell you what, Larry, I mean, I'm about speechless right now. I mean, I don't know that I've certainly, I have never been witness to a game that ended like that. But, you know, you think two of the very biggest wins in the Saints organization, the playoff win a couple years ago, and then this win right here, come off the play of special teams.
Well, I saw the Saints lose a game like that once to the Falcons when Russell Erxleben kind of threw one up in the air like that to get rid of it, and it was intercepted. But this one in the end zone.
And this one was... you know, the Bucs defense was revved up. They really weren't giving the Saints offense a whole lot there, especially in the latter stages of the game. And the Saints defense went out there, really gave a gritty performance to keep the Tampa Bay from picking up a couple of first downs and holding them down deep in their end zone on that final series. And then, boom, you keep playing hard like that, good things will happen to you.
Carolina beat Baltimore, so they're 1-0. Atlanta lost to Green Bay. They're 0-1. Saints are now 1-0. And Tampa Bay 0-1. Not exactly what you might have thought at the end of 1 week in the season that it would be a situation like that. Not the Saints and Carolina leading the division.
Right, especially with Carolina going up against the Ravens today. So, and you really wouldn't have figured that Atlanta would have given Green Bay as much trouble as they did, took them into overtime, and Green Bay squeaked it out with a field goal.
And it may be awfully early, and it certainly is the first game of the season, win or lose. I mean, you got to look at it as a long season. Yet St. Louis loses to Denver today. That game can loom big later on. If you don't win the division and you're trying to fight for a wild card, there's one less wild card this year.
Well, that is correct. So, I mean, right now, the only thing you can do is play these games one at a time. All that kind of stuff will start coming into better focus, and it'll be a clear picture later in the season. But right now, you just got to go out. You know, Saints walk away from here 1-0, and that's great. And they got to go home and enjoy it on the plane ride back enjoy it tomorrow, review the tape, and then get ready for Green Bay next week.
Saints led 6-0 at the end of the first quarter, and Benson Mercedes will donate $200 today to Kevin Hauser's Life a Snap program, benefiting the oncology department at Children's Hospital. John Carney connecting on 2 field goals, and that's where the $200 come in, $100 per field goal. We'll take a timeout with more of the Dodge Ram Locker Room Show coming up right here on the New Orleans Saints Radio Network. Welcome back to the Dodge Ram Locker Room Show with you here in the press box. Let's go to our player of the game, Hokie, and you've got a lot of choices. Deuce McAllister had 31 carries, 109 yards today, his first start, and over 100 yards. Aaron Brooks had 24 completions, 42 attempts, 260 yards, and of course he had the 2 touchdowns, 1 intercept. His rating 81.4. Joe Horn, 8 catches, 108 yards for him. Who do you like?
I like Fred McAfee.
There you go, special teams guy.
And I mean, an argument could be made for all those guys that you mentioned, and there's without question Aaron's going to have his opportunities later in the year. Deuce McAllister, Joe Horn, the whole 9 yards. But this was, one single guy that came through, knifed through the line, got back there, and sealed the game and didn't allow it to go any further. And
Jim Henderson kept saying, somebody's got to make a play. Somebody's got to play. Right. We were all thinking on offense making a play.
That's right. Or defense. Picking off a ball or somebody causing a fumble, something like that. So a lot of times it's guys on the special teams that don't get enough credit for what they do. And that particular play right there is, Fred McAfee helped win the ball game with that play.
Well, let's go to some of the highlights right now. Of course, the Saints led 6-0 early. The Bucs got a field goal, cut it down to 6-3. Then the first touchdown of the game came kind of an unlikely play. It was to Boo Williams, the tight end, who caught the ball around the 2-yard line, but nobody touched him, so he kind of crawled in for the score from 33 yards out. Here's Boo Williams.
From the Buccaneer 33. And right now, Deuce has 12 carries for 36 yards, and that doesn't sound impressive, but he's really had very little room to run.
2 tight ends to the right side of the formation. Boo Williams and David Sloan, backs in an eye. Warren split out wide to the left. Play action. Brooks with a lot of time. Gonna throw it over the middle. It's caught by Boo Williams inside the 5. Rolls to the end zone, and they are going to call him just short, I believe. The officials are going to huddle, and now it's a touchdown.
They did give him the touchdown.
Yeah, it took a while for the call to be made, but when the call was made, it was a touchdown. Right near the end of the first half, a 46-yard field goal lined up for Grammatica, and here comes Darren Howard. Listen.
Looks to be a 46-yard attempt from the right hash mark. Tupa to hold. Kick is blocked. It's blocked, and Tupa falls on it at the 37-yard line, and the Saints have blocked the field goal. It looked to be Darren Howard, and it was coming up the middle, getting a big mid on it, and just listen to the send-off these Buccaneers get.
Yeah, that was right at the end of the first half. It was 13-3 at the half, Saints. And then McCardell caught a touchdown, 13-10, 3-point game when Dante Stallworth got his first score as a Saint and his first score as a professional in the NFL.
2nd and 10 from the 41-yard line of the Buccaneers. Horn and Pathon, who's been very quiet, split out wide to the left. Dante Stallworth wide right. McAllister, the lone setback behind Brooks, who drops and looks, pumps, throws, and is caught by Stallworth. Slips the tackle. 10, 5. He's going to score the touchdown, New Orleans.
We said it earlier in the ball game. Aaron was just dinking and dunking and just, trying to get some confidence now.
That was a 41-yard score, capped off a 6-play, 82-yard drive. And we're going to go down to the locker room now with the Jim Haslett post-game interview brought to you by Napa Auto Parts. Best parts, best service, best price. Here's Kenny Wilkerson.
Larry, thank you. Down here with the head coach. And, you tell me, how do you feel?
Well, I'm glad we won the game. We tried to give it away at the end, but I thought our guys stayed focused and fought and scratched the whole game, and we knew it was going to be a tough one. I thought we played extremely well at times. We overcame a lot of adversity. The field position, we were just awful the whole day. The field position was awful. And then we finally got it at the end and, led to, Freddie's great play. But, we overcame that. Joe's had to drop, that could have sealed the game. Willie Whitehead's penalty. And then Kenny Irvin's dropping the interception should have sealed the game. So you could almost feel it slipping away. But I give credit to where credit due. Our guys hung in there, fought their butts off, and they deserved to win this game.
You've said all along since camp started that you felt good about these guys and that they would hang together. But you really won't know until these kind of situations present themselves in a ball game. Obviously, you're finding out that you hit the nail on the head. This is a pretty good bunch.
Well, we got a lot of young guys too, and we're trying to come together. I thought our offensive line played excellent tonight. That was the key to the game. We had a couple sacks. Sapp got one, but for the most part, we blocked them up pretty good. Ran the ball okay. I thought we played just terrible on special teams until the end. The field position was just lousy all day, so we had to overcome that all day. We never had a short field for the offense, never had a long field for the defense. So, again, I give credit to our guys, because if you can overcome all those things and still win the game, I think you got a pretty good team.
Jim, Aaron Brooks, he stayed awful poised. He did have the one pick, but he got hit when he was throwing it. I mean, he played the way that everyone is expecting him to play.
Well, you remember last year we didn't block anybody last year at this time, and people were hanging off him. But I thought for the most part he played extremely well, especially the first half. He was unbelievable and threw the ball well, took off, ran, made good decisions with the football. Had the one interception, but for the most part, he managed the game probably as good as you can get.
Jim, you referred to your special teams coach. I guess you were referring to Al Evers, how he told his players, hey, sometimes you can get strike out over and over again, but sooner or later you'll get up there and knock a home run. What was that?
Well, the question came up just as somebody asked our special teams coach, and I overheard it. What are you going to do? This team beat the crap out of you last year. And Al said, yeah, well, I know a lot of batters who come up and strike out, but they hit a lot of home runs after that strikeout. So that was a theme going into the game. Hey, we struck out last year. They kicked our butts, but you know what? We're going to come back and hit a home run on them.
Did you notice that it was that Aaron Brooks went and got the entire team, other than the offensive line, together and brought them to the out to the to the line, to the sideline to cheer on, whatever it was?
Well, Aaron's the captain, and those people vote for him. I think he's doing a great job of leading his football team, and I think the Saints fans in the city would be proud that they'd be glad to have him, because he's going to be a heck of a quarterback.
Almost turned out to be, like kissing your sister, but you got the victory, so I'm sure you feel good.
When you're playing a team like this on the road, I told the team, I said, there's no better football team that plays on the road than us. I think we're 11-5 over the 2-year period, and if you can win some games on the road, we got to take care of business at home. So I like the unit. I like our guys, and they're going to scrap and fight. I don't know, we're not going to win every game in the National Football League, but I think our fans are going to be proud. They're going to fight their butts off.
Jim.
Okay,
all right, Jim Haslett down here. With that, I'm going to send it back up to you for now, Larry.
And the Dodge Ram Locker Room Show will be coming up with more comments and interviews right here on the New Orleans Saints Radio Network.
Mr. Green?
Yeah.
You need any help? I just want you to know, I think you're the best ever.
Yeah, sure.
Want my Coke? It's okay, you can have it.
No.
Really, you can have it.
Okay.
Coke is a song, makes me feel good, makes me feel nice around. It's a place to be. I like to see.
Hey, kid.
Smiling with me. Thanks, Mean Joe.
Man, I get a lot of strange calls there. The other day I got a call that people were seeing gators all over town. Of course, I knew the guy was talking about the River Parish Disposal Gator on the side of the red dumpsters all over the greater New Orleans area. River Parish Disposal is locally owned and operated, and they handle commercial, industrial, and even biomedical waste. And when you throw your garbage to the gator, it's gone, baby. Call 738-7700 to turn the gator loose. River Parish Disposal. Our business stinks, but it's picking up.
Hey, want to get away from the city? Come to the Holiday Inn of Thibodaux, only 45 minutes from New Orleans. The Holiday Inn of Thibodaux. Great rates, great people, and a fantastic destination for a getaway weekend. Visit plantation homes, swamp and bay tours, antique shops. Also, the Holiday Inn of Thibodaux can create a nice place to host your next family reunion. The Holiday Inn of Thibodaux, 985-446-0561. Stick around for Coach Jim Haslett's locker room interview on WWL 870 AM.
Welcome Welcome back to the Dodge Ram Locker Room Show. When we left you, it was a tied-up 20-20 ball game in the highlights we're talking about, so it went overtime. And this is the way the game ended. There was a couple of possessions for each team. On the third possession by the Bucs, they were trapped back in their own 5-yard line. They went 3 and out. It was time to punt, and listen to what happened.
Wake up to a world.
Chuka, 8 yards deep in his end zone. Punts it away. Saints have pressure. They've got him in the end zone. They've got him. He throws it into the arms of a Saint for a touchdown. James Allen has Fred McAfee. It's got to be Fred McAfee who got him in the back of the end zone. Got to be. He threw it up for grabs, and the one who grabbed it was the New Orleans Saints linebacker James Allen, and the Saints have won one of the most thrilling victories in this team's history.
No doubt about that. 26-20 the final, and the guy that pressured that punt was the veteran Fred McAfee. Let's go down to Fast Freddy with Kenny Wilkerson.
All right, Larry, thank you very much. Down here with Fred McAfee. And, Fred, we're just sitting here talking about that play. We just played it on the air just now, the replay of it. And you said that was by design. I mean, that wasn't like they blew a block or anything like that.
Yeah, it's the same play that I sprung Mike Lewis on a few weeks ago, with the big block. Right. Same play, except I got to the ball this time.
Is that how that works?
That's how it works. If I don't block it, go block.
And that's what you did.
That's what happened. So,
pretty wild finish, don't you think?
A wild finish, but hey, rewarding, very rewarding. It was a team effort, they made a good run in the end, and got to give them all the credit in the world, but hey, we won the game, and we're happy.
What does this say about this group, Freddie? I mean, you've been here now for a couple of years. You know what this team has been through. You know how it wrapped up last year. What does it say about things coming together?
Well, it says that, hey, we have a good team. And, people out there, they've been doubting us, hey, they were worrying about the off-season moves, about how many people we had left. But we brought in some very good people. The people they brought in were the very best that they could get. And I thought they did a great job of doing that, the management, yeah.
From a standpoint of everybody staying calm and cool on the sidelines, there was a lot of tension, not necessarily any panic, but a lot of tension down there, and everybody stayed pretty calm.
Well, it's a veteran ball club. You got Sammy Knight, we got Brian Cox, Charlie Clemens, Norman Hand. People, we've been in those games before. And as a veteran team, we should take the situation just exactly the way we did it. Just keep calm, keep your head. Hey, let's go out there and play ball.
You think that this is what we're in store for in months to come, like more games against Tampa as well as in the future next year and everything like that?
Well, we can carry this victory a long way. It shows us that we can win in the fourth quarter. We can win in overtime. It gives us confidence going to each and every game.
Thank you, Freddie. Appreciate it.
All right. I'd like to say hey to my brother, Charles McAfee and Warren Tremaine. Hey, baby. I'm on my way home. Later.
Thank you, Freddie. That's Fred McAfee down here, and I'll send it back to you for now, Larry.
All right, we'll be sending those hellos in just a few moments, too. The Dodge Ram Locker Room Show will continue with more coming up on the New Orleans Saints Radio Network.
Rush Limbaugh, weekdays 11 to 2 on WWL 870 AM.
Welcome back, everyone, to the Dodge Ram Locker Room Show. We'll be talking with Hokie again, and, of course, going down to the locker room in just a moment. And, by the way, all players interviewed in the locker room receive a gift certificate from Oakland Hart Jewelers, winner of the best jewelry design in the nation, Oakland Hart on Metairie Road. Let's go down to Kenny Wilkerson and Dante Stallworth.
All right, Larry, thank you. That's right, down here with Dante Stallworth. First game, first touchdown.
Yeah, it was a really exciting game. Boy, it was a breathtaker, and just really looking. I'm out of words. I mean, this was a great game, and just really looking forward to correcting the mistakes in practice next week and getting ready for the Packers.
Jim Haslett was saying a little while ago in his press conference that, when you're in this game long enough, you see just about everything. So this wasn't necessarily a surprise to him because he's seen it all. But here it's a wild finish, and this is only your first game. You see it right off the bat.
Yeah, it was crazy. I had a similar game to this at Tennessee, but it's a little different when you're playing an NFL season opener against a team that you were predicted to lose by pretty much everybody in the world, and it's a good feeling. But like I said, we're ready to put this one behind us and give a lot of credit to Tampa Bay. But we ended up eking it out at the end. Everybody kept their composure and fought hard.
Dante, you and I talked about last night in the hotel about a key for you in this game, being the first one up, would be staying calm. Obviously, you were able to do that, and I mean, you even knew so much of what you were doing. You gave them the low wave as you were going into the end zone.
Yeah, that wasn't intentionally. I got a lot of respect for John Lynch, and that was just a spur of the moment thing. But I talked to him after the game, and everything's cool. So, like I said, it wasn't intentionally. Got a lot of respect for John Lynch, a lot of respect.
But at the same time, though, to be able to make the play, not necessarily about the wave, but to be able to make the play and be out on the field and have things like that happen to you.
Yeah, well, there's a lot of, like I said, there's a lot of things I can do to make myself a better player, and I just have to go in and watch that game film and correct a lot of mistakes I made, unfortunately, but, that's what film watching is for, just getting yourself better and getting out to practice.
Dante, congratulations.
Thank you.
All right, Dante Stallworth down there. With that, I'll send it back to you, Larry.
And we'll have final comments coming up on the Dodge Ram Locker Room Show right here on the New Orleans Saints Radio Network.
Better than TV, the bad boy of sports, Corey Johnson, weeknights at 8 on WWL.
Let's pause 10 seconds for stations to identify themselves right here on the New Orleans Saints Radio Network.
From the heart of the Crescent City, this is WWL New Orleans, an Entercom communication station, AM 870, the news, talk, and sports leader.
Well, Jim Haslett said that this team is a road warrior team, and they proved it last year, 11-5, I think, over the 2 years that he's been Saints head coach on the road, and now it's 12-5.
I don't know why it is, Larry, but they just seem to bring out their best efforts when they were on the road, and it'd be nice for the hometown fans this year to get this opportunity to see some of that better football that the Saints usually play.
They can do that this next Sunday at noon against the Packers, and Green Bay won an exciting game today against Atlanta, and I'm glad they won that game.
Yeah,
I wouldn't want them coming in 0-1.
No, I wouldn't either, but it also put a loss on the Falcons schedule, so, and you're going against a very good Green Bay team next week, so, that was one thing that a lot of people talked about coming into this season, that, your early part of your schedule, your first 5 or 6, 7 ball games are against a lot of teams that went to the playoffs. Well, tell you what, you get that challenge on the go right from the beginning of the season. It kind of gives you an idea, a gauge of where your football team is.
All right, that's going to do it. Hokie enjoyed it again, and Jim Henderson's down in that locker room already, and so is Kenny Wilkerson. We'll be heading down there as well, as we tell you that the executive producers are Phil Hoover and Diane Newman. The game broadcast producer, Larry Matson. This game has been engineered and directed by Robert Carroll. Network studio coordinators are Bob Frost, the Frosty One, and Mark Chafisi. Network engineers are Dominic Mitchum, Steve Hurstel, and Kevin Duplantis. And the network chief engineer is Joe Pollet. Network affiliate coordinator is Jeff Grieve. And the director of Saints Network Sales is to Paul Smith. Well, be with us next week. That'll be Sunday at noon when the Saints take on the Green Bay Packers in the Superdome. Once again, the final score here in Tampa Bay, the Saints 26, the Bucs 20. For Hokie Gajan, Kenny Wilkerson, and the rest of our broadcast crew, this is Larry Matson saying thanks for being with us. Now stay tuned for the Point After with Buddy D, up next on the New Orleans Saints Radio Network.
The game's over, but we're just getting started. Coming up next, The Point After with Buddy D. Today's Dodge Ram Locker Room Show is brought to you by Dodge, grab life by the horns. Cintas, the uniform people. Louisiana Rents, your Caterpillar dealer. Tamba Communications, your complete Cisco and IT provider. And by America Online. The Dodge Ram Locker Room Show was also brought to you by these local sponsors. Ochsner, Abita Springs Water. Better water, better service, better call. Subway, eat fresh. Janny King, want it clean? Call Janny King. And by Tulane Football, 861-WAVE. Saints Radio Network, this is The Point After with Buddy D. To break down the game, call 504-260-1870. Brought to you by your local Chrysler dealers. Lottery scratch-offs, anything but ordinary. Domino's Pizza, get $6 off on Mondays. E-Town, switch and save. Allstate Insurance, put your life in our hands. And by Jeep, there's only one. The Saints Point After is also brought to you by these local sponsors. The Point After on WWL 870 AM is brought to you by The Finish Line, off-track betting parlors. Your Lincoln Mercury dealers. Redwood Creek, great memories, lasting traditions. Luther's Barbecue, Pleasure Pools, Catalanos, DA Exterminating, Coke, official soft drink of the New Orleans Saints. If you're an Alltel subscriber, dial BUD. That's 283, and your call is free. Buddy's ready to put the pedal to the metal. Want to take a ride? It's the Point After on the New Orleans Saints Radio Network.
Good evening and welcome to the Point After. This is Buddy Delaberto broadcasting from the finish line in Kenna. Credit this one to a couple of big special team plays the Saints made in overtime. First, Mel Mitchell made a big play on the Saints' second punt of overtime, making the tackle at the Tampa Bay 6, backing the Buccaneers up close to the goal line for their first time in OT. And then super special teamer Fred McAfee rushed Brad Johnson and was throwing the ball right into the hands of James Allen, who intercepted it in the end zone to end the game suddenly. This was a game in which the Saints showed a lot of moxie. After losing control of the game that they led most of the afternoon, as Martin Gramatica tied it at 20 with a field goal on the last play of regulation. Then, as bad luck would have it, the Saints lost the toss and Tampa got its hands on the ball first in sudden death. And to make matters worse, the Buccaneers returned the OT kickoff to the Tampa 42, great field position. It was a victory the Saints might really be able to build some momentum off of, because the three opening games are against playoff teams from last season with a combined 34-14 record in 2001. It was the 12th overtime game in the Saints' 35-year history, and they're now their fifth overtime win, perhaps the sweetest of all. Aaron Brooks and Deuce McAllister had strong performances. The Saints' defense certainly played well. Defensive coordinator Rick Venturi kept Brad Johnson out of sync most of the game with his blitz packages. It would have been a deflating loss after the Saints led 20-10 into the fourth quarter, but somehow the Saints stepped up when the going got tough on the road against a team picked to win the division. We'll continue with the Point After. We'll open up our lines for our listeners. Stay with us.
PEL 44.
Welcome back to the Point After. Buddy D. We're broadcasting live from the finish line in Kenna. And, hey, I made a boo-boo. Tom Cooper, of course, the punter, was the one that Fred McAfee rushed into throwing the ball up in the air that James Allen intercepted for the winning score. And, of course, a little bit reminiscent, like Larry had said, about Russell Erxleben doing it one day in an overtime game with the Saints, except it had a different type of outcome. All right, let's go to our listen line. Mike on the Avenue. Mike, you're on. Hello, Mike?
Yep.
Go ahead, Mike.
Hey, yeah, buddy?
Yes, sir.
Hey, how are you? Yeah, I was going to tell you, it looked like the ghost of Russell Ertz.
You're breaking up, Mike, for whatever reason.
Yeah, can you hear me?
I can hear you, but you broke up. Go ahead.
Yeah, it was a great effort by the team. Coach sort of stole my thunder, because as I was watching this game, for 3.5 quarters, we were beating the crap out of them. And we're playing on a long field, and they're playing on a short field. And the same thing unfolded in overtime. Again, they had a short field, and I thought the defense really, stepped up to the plate and stopped them. And then, ironically, we win the game because, like you said, we pin them down there. McAfee makes the great special teams play, and we win it on a special teams play. After the whole day, we're playing, on a long field. It was unbelievable.
And the ironic thing is that special teams play overall for the Saints, especially coverage play, wasn't good. They kept getting good field position because of poor punts. Of course, Toby Cohen was on the sidelines injured, and yet it ended up with two big special teams play. Mel Mitchell getting down there and stopping the Tampa Bay punt returner on the 6-yard line, and then, of course, a few plays later, McAfee making the rush on the punter.
Yeah, and I was pleased with the play of, generally speaking, of the offensive line. You've got some new guys there. I thought they played real well. No knock on Ricky. Don't misunderstand. Ricky's a good player. He got 111 yards today, but I also prefer to watch Deuce run. I like the way he runs with vision. He gives you a lot more options. I just think it just leads to a better overall offense for this football team.
I agree with it 100%. Thank you very much, Mike.
Bye-bye.
Let's go to Araby for David. David and Araby.
Hey, buddy, how you doing?
Fine, sir.
I'd just like to say congratulations to the New Orleans Saints on a hell of a win, a big win. It looked real good. And wanted to find out, would you know what time the Saints will be back in New Orleans tonight?
No, I don't, but I'm guessing in the vicinity of 10 o'clock, somewhere around that time, about 10 o'clock. If we find out later in the show, we'll pass it on.
And is that still when they come in at Genuine Aviation or whatever?
General Aviation,
hey.
Yeah.
All right, buddy. Thank you, man.
Oh, okay. Thank you very much, David. Let's go to Mike in Metairie. Mike, you're on.
Hi, this is Mike Minzy in Metairie. Is this my call?
Your call.
Oh, I was going to say the guy Allen really caught the ball pretty well. I thought maybe, what do you think about putting him in as a receiver instead of like Billy Cobb or something?
Who are you talking about?
About Allen, the guy who caught the ball in the end zone.
Mike, don't waste our time with stupid stuff like that. Go ahead, man. Call some one of those other goofy stations. Let's go to Dave in LaPlace. Dave, you're on the point after. Yes, sir.
Yeah, what a great game.
It really was.
Real impressed mostly with the play of the offensive line. I mean, they really won the battle in the trenches against a tough defense.
I mean, against a good, you got McFarland, you got Sapp, both putting pressure on, and, they made a play or two, but generally speaking, they really gave Brooks time.
Oh, yeah, if we can hold together with that line, the entire season, I think we'll be there, and plus they held together the whole 4 quarters.
And overall, Brooks showed a lot of maturity.
Oh, he's really coming along. He impressed me also. And that additional speed we got in the offseason, it showed today, too. It keeps defenses,
Boy, no question about that. You saw Dante Stallworth, when he got it, zoom, gone.
He was gone. Did you notice the Green Bay game, open holes in the secondary? Maybe we can expose that next week. They look tough, though.
Hopefully so.
All right, bud.
Incidentally, I don't know if it's an omen, but the Houston Texans opened their first ever game scoring in about a minute and a half on a couple of passes, long passes. So they lead Dallas with less than 2 minutes gone in the game, with a minute and a half going in the game to lead Dallas 7-0. We're going to continue with the point after. 260-1870. We'll be back after this.
870.
Welcome back to the point after. Buddy D live at the finish line in Kenna. A little later in the show, we'll be hearing from John Gruden, the losing coach, the richest coach other than Steve Spurrier in the entire NFL, and see what he had to say after a defeat by the New Orleans Saints today. Right now, let's go back to our listener line of Patrick in New Orleans. Pat, you're on.
A defeat by the New Orleans Saints today.
Pat, turn down your radio. Go ahead. You're on, Pat.
Yeah, buddy.
Yes, sir.
Hey, what do you think about Dante Stallworth today, buddy?
I liked it. I mean, man, let me say to you, he showed the separation that they've been talking about. In other words, he got that quick separation once he had the football.
He showed the separation.
But you got to put your... I'm sorry, Patrick. As long as you got your radio on, you're going to get that 7-second delay. Let's go to Dean in Abita Springs. Dean, you're on the point after.
Hey, buddy, how you doing?
All right, sir.
I just got a quick question. When these punt returners get back to return a punt, is there any kind of field position they tell them not to catch the ball at? Like he caught the ball like a 5-yard line and gets tackled. Shouldn't he let that ball bounce in the end zone to get the ball back to the 20?
What particular punt you're talking about? From
the last punt of the game, the last punt in overtime. When the Saints punted the ball, he caught the ball and they tackled him on the 5-yard line.
That was probably a mistake on his part. He probably should have let the ball go. Yeah, they probably should have let the ball go. But again, at the same time, if Mel Mitchell don't make that good tackle, because he was getting around the end, he might have been able to get a little daylight,
Oh yeah, I'm happy he caught the punt. I'm
glad. That's the type I think that he would have. What they worry about sometimes is they don't want to get backed up inside the 5. Well, that particular punt probably would have been better. He would let it go.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you, Dean. Let's go to Jamie in Shreveport. Jamie, you're on the point after.
Hey, buddy. How are you doing?
Fine, Jamie.
I won't keep you. Yeah, I just wanted to call. I called last week and was wondering how come they kept Aaron Brooks in all year last year and why didn't they play other quarterbacks? And you told me that happens all over the league, that usually backup quarterbacks don't play. And boy, did I eat my words this weekend. Aaron Brooks, if he plays like this all year, he'll probably go to the Pro Bowl again. And I wanted to say, I think probably what made him have so much confidence as he finally signed his contract, and probably what that did was give him the incentive to say, hey, I'm the leader. They want me to be the leader, and I'm going to go out here and I'm going to play like it's my job. And, I think that gave him confidence when he signed his contract. What do you think?
I think that from a standpoint of security, I think that was a big plus for him, but I don't think necessarily. I don't think he was playing without confidence because he hadn't signed his contract. No, I don't agree with that.
This is one of the best games that I have seen the Saints play probably since we beat St. Louis in St. Louis a couple years ago. I am so proud of him.
Overall, I think you're right. It probably is the best overall game, talking about offense, defense. Deuce McAllister, they said Deuce McAllister was going to touch the ball 25 times, but a number of them was going to receive. He rushed 31 times today. Man, they really put a load on him today.
Because I have never seen the Saints play on all three sides of the ball like they played today probably in 36 years. I cannot believe this. They played special teams, offense, and defense superbly. And just like Joe Horn said, we had a bad fourth quarter, but I was listening to his after the game interview, and he said, it doesn't matter how bad we played in the third quarter. During overtime, I told him we're going to win this as a team, and that's exactly what they did. They're playing with confidence as a team. As a team is the way they need to win, and that's the way they won today, as a team on all three sides of the ball, and I'm so proud of them today.
Okay, Jamie, thank you very much. I don't think the coach would agree with you that they played that well on special teams. They made the two big plays on special teams at the end, but overall, they were letting the Buccaneers get a lot of good field position. The punts weren't very good. Overall, they didn't have a good game on special teams. Let's go to Al in Metairie. Al, you're on the point out.
Yeah, I just wanted to say one thing I observed today in today's game is that you had, at the end there, you had a real killer instinct. Okay, and you've been around this organization long enough as I have, being a New Orleans native and all. And I mean, in years past, they would wait for Martin Henderson to kick a field goal later, or they would wait for the offense to get the ball and see what they can do. And today, I mean, the special teams, they didn't play that well, but I mean, at the end, they did it when they had to. And I mean, they forced the issue right there in the end zone. And I mean, at the very least, Tupa's going to get called for grounding. You're still going to get 2 points out of it. He's going to have to throw it away. He's in the pocket, so it's going to be a grounding call. Or, in this case, he threw an interception for a touchdown. So, I mean,
I thought that one of the best things that they did today, and you didn't see the Saints do that very often over the years, is man, when the momentum went against them, and the other team came back from look like a loss to force it in overtime, then they win the toss, and man, at that stage, you certainly had a feel that Tampa was going to get in field goal range, and that guy could kick them from 50 yards out. So, and they showed enough gumption that not to get it done. And they returned the opening kickoff in the overtime to the 42.
Right.
Tampa's 42. So, and they still reached back and held them.
Well, you can see the field position. I mean, the Saints got the, in that final exchange of possessions. I mean, the Saints got the field position advantage, which they didn't have before. And I mean, even if Tupa kicks the ball, I mean, Michael Lewis is going to handle the ball around midfield. There's no telling what will happen then. And that's another thing I want to say is that we haven't had a explosive threat like that in a return game since Wes Chandler, about 22 years ago. So, there's just, speed kills certainly, but, at the very least, Tupa's going to get called for grounding in the end zone, which is 2 points, or Michael Lewis is going to get his hands on the ball at midfield as opposed to inside the 10. And I mean, it's just, but you see that the special teams didn't let it get that far. They basically said, okay, we're going to end it right here. We're going to get in there and get pressure on this punter, and good things happen.
Let's hope this is just the beginning of good things to come as far as the way they play with a lot of intensity and suck it up when the time comes, when they have some adversity in their game, all the stuff they did today.
Oh, it's very encouraging.
Thank you very much, Al. We're going to continue with the point after, live from the finish line in Kenner. 260-1870. We'll be back.
It's the point after with Buddy Z. To get online on the New Orleans Saints radio network, call 504-260-1870. Or for free long distance, 1-866-ETEL-44. That's 1-866-EATEL-44. Here's the NFL scoreboard, brought to you by Kirschman's.
Special teams saved the day for the Saints. Tupa, 8 yards deep in this end zone. Punts it away. Saints have pressure. They've got him in the end zone. They've got him. He throws it into the arms of a Saint.
most thrilling victories in this team's history.
And it was Fred McAfee. Saints win 26-20 in overtime. Aaron Brooks, 24 for 42, 260 yards, 2 touchdowns. In progress, Sunday Night Football. Houston leads Dallas 7-0. A touchdown pass for David Carr. In overtime, the Jets beat the Bills 37-31. The hero, a former Saint.
Ford comes forward to the 15, to the 20. Sutter steps to his left, breaks 2 tackles at the 40. He's out to midfield. It's a foot race. Left sideline 30. Deep in Bill's territory to the 20. Martin to the 5. Into the end zone. Touchdown. The Jets have won the game in overtime on a 96-yard kickoff return for a touchdown by Chad Morton.
Early in the game, Morton also returned another kickoff, 98 yards for a touchdown. The last player to return 2 kicks for a touchdown in the game, former New Orleans Saint Tyrone Hughes in 1994. While the Panthers break their 15-game losing streak, they beat the Ravens 10-7. Wesley Walls catches a 20-yard touchdown pass from Rodney Peete. The Bears beat the Vikings 27-23. Jim Miller hits David Terrell with a 9-yard touchdown pass, 28 seconds left in the game. Bears over the Vikings. Well, it was the Chiefs over the Browns, 40-39. Morton Anderson wins it with a 30-yard field goal with no time remaining. Priest Holmes, he rushes for 4 touchdowns and 122 yards. In overtime, it's Green Bay over Atlanta, 37-34. They win it on Ryan Longwell's 34-yard field goal. Amon Green, big day for him, 155 yards on 27 rushes. Well, the Colts, they come out the gate with a victory. They beat the Jaguars 28-25. Peyton Manning, 3 touchdown scores. Edgerrin James didn't play the whole preseason, didn't need it. 99 yards on 26 carries. And Dolphins, they blow out the Lions 49-21. Ricky Williams, 111 yards rushing, 2 touchdown runs. Jay Fiedler, 3 touchdown passes. Titans come back. They were down 21-0. They beat the Eagles 27-24. Steve McNair throws a touchdown pass. Eddie George, he runs for a touchdown pass with 3 runs for a touchdown sprint with 3 minutes left in the game. They beat the Eagles 27-24. While Steve Spurrier wins his debut 31-23. Shane Matthews, 3 touchdown passes, including this toss.
To the football, straight set drop, and he passes into the end zone. Touchdown by Darius Thomas. Third touchdown pass for Matthews, and the Cardinals are down 3 scores.
Chargers over the Bengals 34-6. Broncos, they beat the Rams 23-16. Brian Griese, 2 touchdown passes. Raiders beat the Seahawks 31-17. Charlie Garner, 123 yards rushing on the day. U.S. Open, Pete Sampras beats Andre Agassi in 4 sets, 6-3, 6-4, 5-7, 6-4. It's his 14th Grand Slam title and his 5th U.S. Open title. That's it for the Point After Scoreboard. Mark Shafisi, New Orleans Saints Radio Network.
All right, Bob, thank you very much. And now, John Gruden, the coach that the Tampa Bay Buccaneers gave up 2 number 1s, 3 number 2s, and $8 million just to get him away from Oakland. And now his first game at home, and they lose in overtime. And here with John Gruden in the locker room.
I'm here with Coach Gruden, and Coach, the offense had a hard time getting untracked, and you were finally able to get something going in the second half and claw back into this thing. I mean, how disappointing is it to lose it in overtime?
Well, it was very disappointing, and, we didn't have the ball a lot in the first half either. The Saints had a couple long drives there where they possessed the clock, and, the opening drive of the ball game was impressive by New Orleans, and but we did find a way to get something going in the second half, put ourselves in position to win, and we're obviously all very disappointed.
What adjustments did you make at halftime to get the offense rolling better with the play calling?
Well, we gave them more opportunities. We got the ball back a little bit quicker defensively. We had a beautiful drive to start the second half. We called a lot of the same plays, and we got to some of the plays we had in mind we were going to run in this game. We just had some normal situations. We were able to do that, and I thought Brad played a particularly good game there for spurts, especially in the second half.
You hate to see penalties that stop drives and also penalties that keep drives going. We had a couple of those big ones like that. Todd Washington had one. I talked to him in the locker room. He said he didn't hear the whistle, but then Shelton Quarles gets called for holding when you had them pinned down deep in their territory.
Yeah, those are 2 big penalties, and, we mishandled a couple balls on third down that, you don't talk about, you forget about in the course of a game like that. But, those are 3 or 4 penalties that change possession. And when you're playing tight football games, a lot of times those are the plays that are deciding factors in the outcome. And we got to coach better. We got to play better. And, you know, we got to do a better job next week in Baltimore.
Given the fact that Brad didn't have a whole lot of time to do much with the football, how would you assess his play at quarterback tonight?
So he made some very good plays, especially in crunch time. You know, he came out through for well over 200 yards and 2 scores in the second half under some real difficult circumstances. You know, people forget the Saints are the #1 sack team in this league over the last 3 or 4 years. They apply a lot of pressure, and we got to do a better job picking it up firm and give him more time, because I think if we do, he'll be very effective here.
I know you probably won't be able to answer this question until you look at the tape, but it appears that they were exploiting something in the kick block units because they got in on a couple of field goal attempts and also that last punt attempt.
You know, the last punt backed up in our end zone, you know, there's some discussion down here that the guy was offsides, and our right wing never saw him, never had a chance to get out and set on him. But, you know, I got to see that first to comment further. But it was a basic rush. It wasn't anything that was other than a speed outside rush. And there's some conversation here that he was offsides, but we'll see the film. And obviously we got to be more stout, not only in pass protection, but on our field goal protection, and to limit some of these middle pushes that we saw today.
Michael Pittman had a pretty good game at running back whenever he was able to get the ball.
He did. He ran good. He caught some good passes out of the backfield. And, you know, when you have a 2-minute drill at the end of the first half and you're in a 2-minute drill basically for the entire fourth quarter, there's not going to be as many opportunities to see the ball as a runner. But he's a very good football player and a guy that we're going to lean on here as time moves forward.
Well, I have this question for you. Where was Allstott in the first half? But you already answered that. You guys didn't have that many touches at all in the first half, so you weren't able to get him involved, but you were able to get him in the second half.
Yeah, we expect to see Mike. Now, you know, it's very difficult on all of us when you get 17 or 18 snaps of offense. And again, New Orleans had a lot to do with that. They had 2 or 3 drives that they possessed the clock for a lot of time. And, you know, we didn't make it happen when we had our opportunities early in the football game. But, you know, you do enough to put it in overtime, and you're at home. You got to step up at that time, call the right play, make the right play, and give yourself a chance to win a game.
All right, John Gruden in the losing locker room, and that sounds good to say when you're on the road. The losing locker room in the season opener, Tampa Bay is the losing locker room. Let's take 10 seconds for station identification on the New Orleans Saints Radio Network.
From the heart of the Crescent City, this is WWL New Orleans, an Entercom communication station, AM 870, the news, talk, and sports leader.
All right, welcome back to the count after. We're going to the point after. We're going to Ronnie and Marrero. Ronnie, you're on the point after.
Hello?
Hi, Ronnie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just want to say one thing to the fans of New Orleans. You know, I don't think the Saints will go past the playoffs, because they never did yet, and they never will, until they prove me wrong. That's all I want to say, bud.
Thank you very much. I hope I hope you worked real hard on that little speech. You know, it sounds like something you might have took a half hour to say. Thank you very much. Let's go to Jerry in Gretna. Jerry, you're on the point after. All right.
I had to laugh at him.
You must have voted for Mario. Go ahead.
Right, I agree with that. I'm so glad they won. I was sitting here gritting my teeth. But I didn't see them play with the intensity in the second half that they did in the first, especially the offensive line. And I think Kyle can step up, that he can play better than he did today, because they were beating him left and right on that left end.
Jerry, give the other team a little credit, too. You know, they got some pretty good players on the other team. So I think what happened, John Gruden probably run them the riot act at halftime, you know, and so, you know, they stepped up a little bit. I don't necessarily think that the Saints' intensity failed. They did make a few little stupid things in the second half. They had played a very smart game overall.
Well,
that's something that wasn't happening last year. And right at the end, Willie Whitehead had that stupid penalty of roughing the passer. You know, so they did a few things near the end. But overall, they played as smart a football as well as a good football game as you'll see the Saints team play.
Well, the offensive line definitely was better than last year. I'll have to give them that, especially the front three. They did real good, and I would like to see Brooks get it up off their feet a little bit, that I think more passes can be completed if he did.
Okay, Jerry, thank you very much for your comments. We're going to the Gulf Coast for Bob. Bob on the Gulf Coast.
How you doing, Jody?
Fine, Bob.
Well, I'm just happy that Brooks pulled it out. He was playing, I think he was playing with the responsibility to just sign that contract. He didn't want to make any mistakes. That's part of my theory. So,
well, I think that's one of the things that really worked hard in the offseason is when you're in the red zone, try and, produce in the red zone, don't turn the ball over, all those kind of things. As far as you're saying Brooks pulled it out, really, the defense pulled it out.
But he hung in there, and he
no question. Man, listen, Aaron Brooks and Deuce McAllister as a team, man, they played big time today.
Well, I wanted to bring up one other topic. When you said when that fellow that caught that on that punt, the guy that tackled it, it was McAfee that made him adjust his route to go over to that side where the guy caught him at the 6-yard line.
So then it was McAfee that made him adjust his route, that Mel Mitchell called him, and then McAfee made the big play to force the winning interception.
I want to bring up one thing. McAfee was with us back there, and I remember in San Diego one time we were about to win a game, and somehow or another he fumbled. It cost the change of the game. And I think he's more than repaid us back for that because he's really been fantastic these last 3 years, and I hope the best. It's a fantastic, it's a wonder. He's from a little college up in Mississippi, and he has hung in there, and he's been in there so long, it's pathetic. It's hard to believe he's been in the league over 12 years.
All right, thank you very much, Bob and Fred McAfee. He is a super special teamer. We're going to continue on the Point After on the New Orleans Saints Radio Network. Stay with us.
20 a.m. The News Talking Sports League.
Point After you with Buddy, the Big Daddy of Sports. Call 504-260-1870.
Welcome back to the Point After. Buddy D live at the finish line at 1700 Joe Yeti Boulevard in Kenner, just off of Williams. Come on by, enjoy tonight. Racing from tracks all over the country. There's a dollar draft beer throughout the show tonight. Right now, let's go to Tampa where Kenny Wilkerson's standing by. Kenny, before you say anything, what's the routine about what time will the Saints return? And do people have to go to the complex on Airline Drive because they can't go to General Aviation anymore?
Right, just like last year, buddy. I mean, don't go to General Aviation. Go if you're going to, want to welcome the team back. Go to the Saints facility on Airline Drive. We were due in at 9:50. The plan, the itinerary said 9:15, but obviously that's pushed back. Now we are literally are just pulled up to the plane, and it's going to take from this point usually it's about maybe anywhere from a half an hour to 45 minutes before we are in the air. And then another hour at least in the air, and then another 15, 20 minutes from General Aviation over to the facility. So I know I'm being kind of vague there, but I'm guessing that we'll be in and over to the Saints facility somewhere around 10 o'clock. So we'll just have to
10, 10:15, 10:30 at the latest.
It's kind of, going into overtime, I don't know. I can't tell you. I will tell you this also, buddy. Fred Thomas broke his hand in 3 different places. But now, we'll have to wait and see what his availability is going to be. I don't think he's going to be available for the Packer game, but, Robert Wilson played with a broken hand in the playoff game against the Vikings a few years ago. It's a tough thing to do, but we'll just have to play that one and see how that plays out in the next couple of days.
Their best cornerback broke his hand in 3 places.
Right, and they had 4 cornerbacks up for the game, and they had to go with Keogh out there a little bit more than they were hoping or than they were planning, and he made some mistakes, and that's some things that are going to get corrected. The rookies made some mistakes. Stallworth made some mistakes, and you heard his interview after the game, and he was talking about it and probably kicking himself a little bit for the mistakes that he made. But they'll have to go with Kenny Irvin. They'll have to go with Michael Hawthorne. They'll have to go with Keogh, and who knows? Maybe they'll have to make some type of a move through the waiver wire or something like that. But that'll come, I'm sure, and be addressed tomorrow by Jim Haslett as well as during the week.
Boy, that's a cloud over a great victory, man. That spot right there. Wow. And I didn't even realize anything like that had happened.
Yeah, well, he was on they took him to near the end. They took him out and took him into the locker room for X-rays, and then they came back and said that he came back out with ice, and we still really had no word as to what the situation was until we got with Jim Haslett after the game, in his press conference, and then when we talked with him on the air. So that's the situation. Again, now we're still, I haven't even gotten off the buses yet, buddy. So it's going to be a little while before we actually leave here. But again, it's probably going to be about 10:15. Yeah, as you can imagine, I mean, we usually talk like this for a few minutes before we leave the cities where the team plays. And I mean, it was a good locker room. It was a pumped up locker room. I mean, they felt pretty good about themselves, and you know, we'll see how they respond this week. And I tell you what, when things like this happen, I mean, it's just an opinion here. I mean, these are the kind of things, and these are the kind of victories that can make a close unit even closer and bring things together even better. You can build on this an awful lot. And it says a lot about your football team that they hung in there. I don't know if you heard it or not, buddy. We talked about it a little bit in the interviews that I did. I talked about it with Hazel about how Brooks got the whole team up on the sidelines and things of that nature. I mean, you just don't. I've never seen anything like that before. I mean, I've seen Joe Horn run around, start howling and screaming at everybody and get everybody pumped up. But literally to call all the troops up as one, pretty good statement. Pretty good leadership qualities on his part, as well as so many other players on this football team. They all stepped up and they got the job done.
Okay, Kenny, thank you very much, and let's hope it continues like that.
Yeah,
all right,
that's
Ken.
Exactly right.
Thank you, Kenny. All right, we're going to say goodbye now to our New Orleans Saints Radio Network affiliates. Still lots more to come for our local listeners, so stay tuned on the New Orleans Saints Radio Network.
Hi, Bob Del Giorno for our friends at Fisher's Jewelry, 1036 Canal Street. Stop by Fisher's, see the new Maestro collection of Bulova watches. Maestro Collection. The Maestro Collection has matching his and hers dressed diamond watches. Fisher's also has the latest look from Bulova and Caravelle. Ladies' watches set with the Swarovski crystals. They just start at $115. Fisher's Jewelry, worth the trip from anywhere. Beautiful choices, wonderful people. Fisher's Jewelry, 1036 Canal Street. Stop by, ask about the Maestro Collection.
This is Ronnie Lamarck. In Harvey on the West Bank, it's the all-new Lamarck Lincoln Mercury Mitsubishi with lots of cars and trucks and SUVs. The new Lamarck Lincoln Mercury Mitsubishi, now in Lapalco, in Harvey on the West Bank. It's simply remarkable.
Hey, Saints fans, Coca-Cola is making the Saints 2002 season more inviting. Next time you're at the store, look for the specially marked 12 and 24 packs of Coca-Cola Classic for your chance to win a 2003 Dodge 1500 quad cab truck. No purchase necessary. Just check the store for details. Other prizes include Deuce McAllister's jersey and other Saints paraphernalia. Coca-Cola is the official soft drink of the New Orleans Saints, so when you go shopping, look for the specially marked 12 and 24 packs of Coca-Cola Classic. And they also have some coupons valid at participating Domino's locations.
You've got to admit, moments are best when they're shared. Say you won the lottery.
I won!
Or have a really bad haircut.
I have a mullet.
Now, Verizon Wireless lets you share even more. Unlimited nights and weekends and 300 anytime minutes. Sign up for an America's Choice Family Share Plan and get 2 separate lines to share your minutes. Plus 1,000 anytime mobile-to-mobile minutes on your primary line and 250 minutes on the additional line. 2 lines for just $59.99 monthly access. And since we're on the topic of sharing, buy one Motorola V120C for $49.99 and get another one free, so you can share important moments.
He finally popped the question.
Drop by a Verizon Wireless store today or call 1-800-2-JOIN-IN. Verizon Wireless, we never stop working for you. 1 or 2 year agreement, activation on both phones, and CDMA Tri-Mode phones required. Subject to customer agreement, $175 early termination fee, calling plan, and other restrictions apply.
It's a new Saints season, and Domino's Pizza is back on the field with the best pizza deal in football. Domino's Pizza has once again turned plain old Monday into Saints $6 off Monday. Now through the end of the season, Domino's Pizza is giving you $6 off the regular menu price on your entire pizza order on Monday. That's right, $6 off your entire pizza order on Monday, pickup or delivery. Before settling in for Monday Night Football, give Domino's Pizza a call, and you get $6 off your entire pizza order. Win with the Saints at Domino's Pizzas, $6 off Mondays.
For over a century, Mercedes-Benz has set the standard when it comes to innovations. Yet perhaps no single achievement is more impressive than the C-Class Sport family. You'll find many of the same performance and safety features in a C-Class as in one of its top-of-the-line siblings, like a curve handling electronic stability program and brake assist. The Mercedes-Benz C-Class Sport family. Value unlike any other.
Benson Motor Company, on veterans, in veterans.
E-Tel first offered local phone service at 20% savings, thousands of you made the switch. For the rest of you, it's not too late. Switch to E-Tel and save 20% every month. Keep your phone number, your calling features, and 20% more of your money. No tricks, no hassles, no cost to switch. At home or at work, 20% less. Call 1-800-55-E-Tel or log on to etel.com and start saving today.
20% discount based on regional Bell Operating Company tariff monthly exchange rate. Discount does not apply to taxes, fees, or tolls. Certain restrictions apply.
It's been an impressive year for the Black and Gold. These guys have stayed hungry all season. And you know what happens when you have a hungry football team? The post-game meal can get real ugly. That's why the Black and Gold keeps Subway sandwiches on hand. Stop by Subway this month and try one of our new Subway Selects. 4 great players on the Subway roster. There's sweet onion teriyaki, red wine vinaigrette club, honey mustard ham, and Southwest turkey with bacon. It's good when a football team is hungry. It's not good when you are. Subway. Eat fresh.
If you believe that fast or new doesn't always mean better, if you believe in taking time with friends, then we have the perfect wine. Redwood Creek, a Chardonnay, slow-pressed, for a full, long, lingering taste. Because what our winemaking tradition has taught us is the importance of taking time. Redwood Creek, because good things take time. Fry Brothers Vineyards, Modesto, California.
Mark, the other white meat presents Did You Know? For quick kebabs, cut tenderloin into 1-inch cubes and grill. For even quicker kebabs, take your neighbor's when he's not looking. Did you know? Grilling is a low-fat method for preparing pork. Doing jumping jacks while grilling is an even lower-fat method for preparing pork. Did you know? Christopher Columbus introduced the new world to fresh pork. Now, if he'd only remembered to bring along the barbecue sauce. Pork, the other white meat, brought to you by America's pork producers.
Move over, I'm sitting there. Yeah, whatever. Hey, where's Jerry? I don't know, not here.
While your friends are out together having fun, you're here at home, grounded because you smoked weed and your parents found out.
Call now for your free psychic reading.
Lose your parents' trust, you can kiss your social life goodbye. Trust, the anti-drug.
Come on, girls. That's one. Turn that TV off.
Sponsored by the Office of National Drug Control Policy in Partnership for a Drug-Free America.
One 15-minute phone call could save you 15% or more on car insurance. Call 1-800-947-AUTO. Geico Direct, the sensible alternative.
It's The Point After on WWL 870 AM. The news, talk, and sports leader. Call Buddy now at 504-260-1870. Here's the NFL scoreboard, brought to you by Kirschman's.
Saints start off the season 1-0. They beat Tampa Bay 26-20 in overtime. Dante Stallworth, he catches 4 passes, 63 yards, including a 41-yard touchdown throw from Aaron Brooks. Sunday Night Football, end of the first quarter, the Texans lead the Cowboys 7-0. Finals from today. Jets beat the Bills 37-31. That in overtime. The Bears over the Vikings 27-23. In overtime, the Packers beat the Falcons 37-34. Dolphins rout the Lions 49-21. Ricky Williams 2 touchdown runs. The Panthers beat the Ravens 10-7. Morton Anderson beats the Browns with a 30-yard field goal. No time left. It's the Chiefs 40, the Browns 39. The Colts beat the Jaguars 28-25. Peyton Manning 3 touchdown scores. Titans over the Eagles 27-24. Steve Spurrier wins his debut 31-23 over the Cardinals. Chargers rout the Bengals 34-6. It was the Broncos upsetting the Rams 23-16. And finally, the Raiders defeat the Seahawks 31-17. Now back to more of the point after. Here's Buddy D.
If there's one thing I know about football, it's this. You can't be an armchair quarterback if you don't have an armchair. That's where Kirschman's comes in. They've got everything for every room in your home, all at the guaranteed lowest prices. And one thing I know about furniture is this. You'll find quality priced right every day at Kirschman's.
Okay, welcome back to the point after Buddy G. We're live at the finish line in Kenna, Joe Yanni Boulevard, right off of Williams Boulevard. All players interviewed in the locker room receive a gift certificate from Oakland Hart Jewelers, winner of the best jewelry design in the nation. Oakland Hart on Metairie Road. Now we got a gentleman at the live mic here at the finish line. Name and question or comment?
Yes, buddy. My name is Jeff Champagne, and what I want to ask you is all the magazines, the Sports Illustrated magazines, the pre-favorite to win the new NFC South was Tampa Bay. With Carolina upsetting Baltimore and the Saints beating Tampa Bay today, what does that do to the new NFC South?
Well, I think it gives a little bit more hope, but at the same time, in 1 week of 15 more weeks to go, it really don't mean a heck of a lot. What it means, and you're a horse guy, it means like all of a sudden your horse broke out on top and going down the backstretch, he's a couple lengths in front. But you know what happens a lot of time when they make the whole run coming for home. But it's certainly a positive way to start off, and it looks like maybe the division will be a little more positive, a little more even, you know?
It sure does, but it sure does feel good being out on the front end of this, this long horse race.
Thank you very much. All right, let's go to Nathan in Houma. Nathan, you're on the point after.
Yeah, buddy, it's Jason, man. It's okay. Hey, listen, buddy. I got three names. Jim Hazard. Because Jim Hazard been the coach of the Saints. He has demonized the demons, okay? First of all, first playoff win, okay? This is a game today that the Saints should have lost. There's no question about it, buddy. In the past, I'm talking about the Jim Moore years, on even. This is a game that the Saints should have lost, but it didn't because Jim Hazard, again, he's got that attitude, and it transforms to his players and his team. And it's like the no-quit attitude. I'll tell you the truth, until the game almost ended, I thought the Saints was going to lose this game, buddy. I really did. I had my gut. Well, here we go. I mean,
well, let me say to you, certainly I'm not disagreeing with you, but it's the same coach that the team fell apart with the last 4 games of the year. And that doesn't mean that it was all his fault, but a lot of times it is the coach's responsibility that you don't go in the tank in the last 4 games. So now, in a matter of Hazlitt's making a little comeback. All right, another live mic here at the finish line. Name and question or comment.
Ronnie from Kenny, buddy. How you doing?
Hi, Ron.
Love your show. Listen to you all the time. Thing I'm interested in is McCarthy. I think the first half was good, but the second half was bad. He called all the wrong plays. What do you think at the end?
You know what?
He sat on the lead.
You know what they say about offensive coordinators? They said, well, when the play don't work, it's a bad call, or when the play does work, it was a good call. So I just think that basically that's what I'd say about McCarthy right now. Overall, I think he got a winning grade today.
All right, buddy. The linebacker, I heard you talking about Thomas a while ago.
No, that was cornerback, Fred Thomas.
Huh?
Fred Thomas, the cornerback.
Yeah, the cornerback. You said he played. I don't think he played a good game.
Well, what I said was he's the best cornerback that they have, best cover cornerback that they had. There's no question about that. Now, maybe, I know one time he got beat on a play, but that's going to happen to cornerback. But of the cornerbacks the Saints have, he's their best one.
Okay, but what about the linebacker? What do you think about the linebacker?
I thought overall the defense played pretty good today. I mean, better than I thought. They kept a good pressure on Brad Johnson. I think overall they played pretty well. I hope that continues because I thought that was going to be an Achilles heel. Thank you. Let's go to a cell phone call from Grant. Grant, you're on the point after.
Hey, buddy, how's it going?
Fine, sir.
Well, I'm going to go a little bit further on the defense. I think they did pretty well. They came and, they kicked in just when they needed to. If anything, I think the game ball should go to the defense. We were playing, we didn't have all the starters then. Fred Thomas gets taken out, with a broken hand. I really didn't know that was the case. So, I think we did pretty well saying that, we wasn't at full strength either. But I do have a question for you. Have they said anything else about the Carter situation? I know he put in...
Well, he has applied for reinstatement about a week ago, and now it's strictly up to Paul Tagliabue when he wants to make a decision. And they can't do anything about that. And when he makes the decision, he'll make it, and he'll give the suspension. Now, let me say to you... whatever he gives, it's retroactive. For example, like if you don't make the decision for another 2 or 3 weeks and he says it's a 6-game suspension, well, he's already out 2 or 3 games. At least that's the way I understand it.
Right. Because, you can't keep the team holding on like that without making at least some type of statement, at least saying, hey, I'll make a decision next week or something like that. But yeah.
Well, let me put it this way. You don't get yourself to that spot, and when you get yourself to that spot, you're at the mercy of the boss, who is the commissioner, Paul Tagliabue. All right, thank you very much.
Thank you, buddy.
Okay, thank you. We got Grant on a cell phone. Grant, and let me say to you before I introduce you, your name reminds me. Charlie Grant played. I thought he played really well for a first-year guy. That was their second pick in the first round, behind Dante Stallworth. And I thought, really, man, he was in that backfield. He put a lot of pressure on. All right, here's great memories about my great memories of Saints football, brought to you by the Redwood Creek Wine. Great memories, lasting traditions. Now, this memory really wasn't so great, but I tie it in with what happened today when the Saints won a football game, when the punter kind of under pressure just threw the ball up in the air, and it went for an interception and a touchdown in the end zone. And I'm going back to the 1979 season, the opening game of the season in the Louisiana Superdome against the Atlanta Falcons, 71,000 people on hand. Hey, guess what? The game goes overtime, and what happens in overtime? Game tied at 34, and all of a sudden the punch sails over Russell Erxlaven's head. Hey, instead of going back and trying to, recover the ball and take a hit or trying to do something, all of a sudden he picks the ball and he throws it up in the air like a jackass, and it was intercepted, and they returned it for a touchdown to end a game 40-34 in overtime. So it had a similar type of ending, but this time it was the Saints on the good end of it. And Russell Erxlaven right now, well, last I heard he was serving time. All right, we're going to continue with the point after, live from the finish line in Kenner. Create some great memories of yourself and lasting traditions with Redwood Creek Wine.